back live at your Bolo Bunch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.hssb.cc, sportsjuice.com. Tim of the producer Patterson, we have got a trivia question tonight. What is the first, and oddly enough, it is a boxing question. Who was the first African American, period, the first African American to participate in a PGA event? Who was the first African American to take part in a PGA sponsored event?
Tim loves it when you don't give him the answer before.
If you know the answer, Timmy, how can they get in touch with us to win tonight's prize pack?
Hit us up on the hotline, 219-743-9743. Yahoo Instant Messenger is keyword Bolo Bunch Boxing Hour, or send us an email at bolobunchboxinghour@yahoo.com.
Or you could just type in an obscenity
and log off.
And then log off immediately.
I apologize to Pete if it was me.
I don't apologize if it was me.
I don't understand, but I'm sorry. It's almost like an argument with my wife.
That sounds exactly like a fight with me and
How is that an apology if you just compared it to your wife?
It is. That's the way I do it. You just, I'm sorry. And then
She's probably listening to me. I'm going to troll when I get home. Great.
That son of a... No one said anything offensive. Yeah, whatever. All right. I'll get an email about it tomorrow.
But those are the best fights. You don't even know what she's mad at you about. Forget it. I'm sorry. Whatever.
Wait. Did I do something wrong? Yes. Go make me some brownies.
What are we having for dinner? Do I got to cook tonight, which means we're getting pizza.
Heavyweight action, Big Vladimir Klitschko won a 12-round unanimous decision, pretty much a blowout over Sultan Ibrahimov. He unifies the IBF and WBO heavyweight championship of the world with scores of 119-110, 118-110, and 117-111. Klitschko moves up to 50-3 with 44 big knockouts. Ibrahimov moves down to 22-1-1 with 17 knockouts. What an exciting fight! We finally get some unification. This fight was pillar to post action.
What, it's been like 10 years since the last unification title fight? I believe that's how long it's been. But it ends up not being a very exciting fight. Klitschko just goes from a two-trick pony to a one-trick pony. Instead of throwing the 1-2, he just throws the 1.
He actually makes severe strides backwards.
Yeah.
From left jab, right. Left jab, right. To left jab. Repeat.
Copy and paste.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think he threw total 9 right hands.
Yeah, it wasn't very many. He landed a few towards the end of the fight, and Manuel Stewart told him at the end that he wasn't looking good. He needed to try getting the knockout, and Manuel Stewart actually got a little bit from the corner there from Lampley and Kellerman. I think it was Lampley that was announcing this with him. And
Lampley, Kellerman.
I hardly listen. I mean, I kind of listen to them, but I don't pay as much attention to those guys as I probably should.
Well, Lennox Lewis was there too.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about it's kind of dangerous for. Yeah, I remember Lewis there because they actually brought up like his fight as well. But they said that it's kind of dangerous for your corner man to say that you need to knock this guy out when actually he didn't really have to knock him out. He already won the fight.
He was way ahead on points.
And he had to know that he was ahead on points like that, though. He knew he could probably still protect himself and win, but do as much as he could to win the knockout. But I did see something in Klitschko's game. I believe what Ibrahimov saw before, which he said was he'd seen a hole in Klitschko's style. And before and after this fight, before and after, they showed the Joe Louis fight, his special, and they showed him against Max Schmeling, and Max Schmeling found a hole in his game, and I believe it's the same hole that Klitschko has. He throws that jab, and then he brings his hand straight down instead of back to his face to protect himself. And Ibrahimov was trying to land those big overhand rights, but he was throwing from too far outside and too slow. Klitschko was able to protect himself, and Klitschko wasn't falling with the right, which would even leave him more open.
Yeah.
You know, because that hand would be down, then both his hands would be down.
Klitschko was doing a really weird thing to start out too. He was doing a sort of a slappy thing to try and knock down Ibrahimov's
jab. jab,
jab. It's sort of a tester jab. It's not even a jab. He's just sort of marking point. It's like peeing on a tree. He's like, this is my area.
Measuring on
this is my area. Yeah, it was so lame though. Abrahamov, you are the reason this fight sucked.
Party Rebel, they were
Klitschko, you didn't help, but it wasn't your fault. You threw almost no right hands, but I cannot blame you because Abrahamov did even less damage than you did.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, who are you mad at, Bert or Ernie? Well, neither of them fought like heavyweight champions.
Okay. And coming up, Klitschko's got a...
Neither of them are that.
No,
you're stupid. Go ahead.
It was still not a very exciting fight, but these guys got a couple, what do you call it? Klitschko has a couple mandatories here coming up now that he has 2 belts.
Tony Thompson and Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah, Povetkin, which we just seen him fight in that tournament, that little mini tournament they had, and ended up coming out with
Fast Eddie Chambers.
And I'm guessing that's who he's going to fight next. And then Tony Thompson, who you said probably doesn't even belong to be a contender right now.
But neither did Ray Austin a little bit ago. So
somebody's got to be on the top, and they slowly work their way up. And
I still don't even see how Ray Austin got that title shot against Klitschko.
Ray
Austin, that's the funny part.
That's how he got it. It's because he fought to a draw.
Between Abrahamov and Ray Austin, they got a draw. Ray Austin is the one that gets the shot at Klitschko and gets blown away in what, a round and a half?
Yeah.
Then the big unification fight is against the other guy that was in that draw. It's so stupid the way they're doing stuff right now. I'm getting really tired of the heavyweight division.
I'm kind of upset that he was talking about his brother not wanting to get the other belt because he was.
They don't want to fight each other.
Yeah, because they don't want to fight each other, and his brother's already set up the fight, the winner of the Peter and Moskaya fight, and
please.
Yeah, The only thing is his brother is his record doesn't quite look as good as I think as Vladimir's now. Vladimir's record's been looking pretty good against him.
Vladimir's got better names on it.
Yeah, and he's a unified champion. Well, and if he can add another belt here, which now it looks like it's going to, since he has 2 mandatories, it's going to take another year before he can get that done. So
tell me what Vladimir Klitschko against Nikolai Valoyev would look like. Tell me that wouldn't be a cool fight to just watch. I don't even care who wins. I just want to see those 2 freakishly huge guys. When Klitschko has to look up at somebody.
When you cough, I got blow some smoke in your face.
I was breathing in to cough more as smoke went in my face. So when you're already coughing,
it's a good show.
This is not going well. Let's move on. But when you're trying to cough and you need good air to cough out, and the air you're breathing in to cough back out is smoke, you feel like dying. Middleweight action, John Duddy. John Duddy, congratulations. You have beaten Waleed Smichet. What you've also done is blown your shot at fighting Kelly Pavlik during Hall of Fame weekend. June 8th, I believe it was going to be. June 7th.
Duddy got cut pretty bad in this fight.
Duddy came in with 1 mouth, but left this fight with 2 mouths.
That looked like an extra eye to me, more than a mouth.
It had teeth in it, man. He has teeth over his eye. I'm not sure how. It was disgusting. John Duddy, you did not look very good in this fight.
No, he did not look good. He should have looked really good in this fight. He probably should have won by knockout kind of early in the fight. But
6 different times this guy Smichet had fought and not won. He had 3 losses and he had 3 draws coming into this fight. 17-3-3 he came in. He left 17-4-3, but it wasn't like you blew him out. In fact, it was a majority decision. It wasn't even a unanimous decision. And it was 98-92 twice, and one judge said 95-95. Okay.
Yeah, Duddy. Now, I told you Duddy wasn't as big of a risk. He's a little bit overrated. He has a lot of fans following him around, but I would expect to see more from him. I did see some. I was watching in the background, and it looked like he was really taking it to him. But I mean, I can only see little clips, snippets from behind Lampley as he's interviewing these guys up there talking about Joe Louis.
Talking about Joe Louis.
Yeah, after the special, they were he had I don't even know who all he had up there. I can't remember, but he had 4 guys or 3 guys up there, and he was talking about the Joe Louis special.
Oh,
and
I missed that part.
And Duddy was in the background fighting during that time. You could hear the crowd going crazy when they announced him.
Middleweight action, Joe Green. Mean Joe Green. TKO victory in the 10th round over Francisco Mora. Joe Green still undefeated, 18-0 with 14 knockouts. Mora moving down to 52-13 losses. 35 of his 52 wins by way of knockout. He is older, and he is essentially done. Francisco Mora, it's time to hang him up.
Yeah, but at least it's a guy with a little bit more experience for Green to take out. Green's a pretty slick boxer, knows what he's doing in there. He's got some power. The guys, the fans in New York love him. And you heard him. They actually announced this fight right at the beginning, during that special as well.
Yeah.
Or during those interviews, and they were going crazy for Mean Joe Green. I watched him on Friday Night Fights, and I think he might have even been on Showbox once. And he's a pretty quality fighter, and we're going to see more from him in the very short future. He's going to be on the main event. His fights are going to be played very shortly.
Cruiserweight action, Jonathan Banks knockout in the first round over Imamu Mayfield. Wow. Jonathan Banks, 19-0, 14 knockouts. Mayfield moving down to 25-9-2, 8 knockouts. Not much to say about this fight.
All I can think of here is Jonathan Banks is building his record up here at cruiserweight, and I got a feeling he's going to eventually step up to heavyweight. They say Emmanuel Stewart's last hurrah is going to be with Klitschko. I don't think so. I think after Klitschko's done,
Andy Lee is still in the wings.
Well, they're talking about heavyweight fider.
Oh, you're just talking about heavies? Okay.
I got a feeling Banks is going to step up to heavyweight when Klitschko's done. And Banks is not very bad, man. He's just like...
Not very bad.
I couldn't think of a word, but... I mean, knocks this guy out in the first round. Like you said, there's not much to say about it other than dynamite fighter.
Super middleweight action, Kid Chocolate, Peter Keane, knockout in the second round over Thomas Brown. Keane, 16-0 with 13 knockouts. Brown moving down to 11-4-1, 7 knockouts.
Yeah,
I am excited about this Peter Keane. I've been reading about him for a good while.
Slick boxer, kind of a tall guy.
Yeah, I mean, to see him throw out candy, and he threw out candy, and he threw out, I think, T-shirts, and he threw out rolled up something or others. I don't know if they were little posters or little flyers, but that's his thing. He's Kid Chocolate, so he throws out chocolate.
And he's on all the cards with me, Joe Green, another guy from New York. I don't know if he's from the Bronx, but both those guys are right there, local fighters, and they draw the crowds. They're on those. And when ESPN goes there, like I said, Showbox or any Showtime fights, they usually put those guys on the undercard. And I actually had a couple of their videos, both those guys' videos, bootleg videos someone took from ringside. I favored them up on my. I don't put those on my website. I don't record them, but I will favorite them, so you can still see them straight from our YouTube site.
Yeah. Saturday night in Caguas, Puerto Rico. Juan Manuel Lopez, who we saw on Dia de los Dias on the undercard. TKO victory in the third round over Jonathan Oquendo. Oquendo we just saw in Chicago not that long ago, and he didn't have a very good night against Juan Manuel Lopez. Lopez still undefeated, 21-0 with 19 knockouts. The guy's vicious, just vicious. Against Oquendo, 14-2 with 9 knockouts.
Yeah, they're saying here maybe Ponce de Leon. I don't know if that's he's ready to get back in there with a Ponce de Leon, or Ponce de Leon's pretty tough.
He owns the knockout of the year for 06.
Yeah, Ponce de Leon's one of the most exciting fighters right now. I don't think he'd be getting back in there. He'd just be getting in there for the first time with him. But tough fight if that ended up happening.
Oh gosh, 2 explosive punchers is all I'm saying. Juan Manuel Lopez hits exceptionally hard.
Yeah, 21-0 with 19 knockouts, so you know he hits.
Well, you know he can knock guys out. I mean, that doesn't say I mean, it's cool that he's got that high of a knockout percentage, but you don't know if they were due to clubbing shots for 10 rounds at a time and he stops them late. These are all within 5 rounds and under, if I'm not wrong. So, I mean, that's exceptional work.
And Ponce de Leon was listed on that Ring Magazine's top 10 biggest punchers, so you know he's got the power.
Definitely able to do some good damage.
When they leave Miguel Cotto off that list, you know the guys that they put on that list are pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah, well, you almost have to take Cotto off of that list. That's it. To make it interesting, to make it worth reading. Junior flyweight action, Nelson Diepa, TKO victory in the 10th round over Alex Sanchez. Diepa moving up to 25-4-2, 14 knockouts. Sanchez moving down to 31-7-1, 21 knockouts. Did not come out for round 11. Saturday night in Halle, Germany. Light heavyweight action, Yuri Barashian. Is that like the Kardashians?
Kardashians. I don't know what the Kardashians are.
Oh, it's the really hot chicks on HBO. Not HBO.
E. They're on E.
They're on E. Okay. TKO victory in the 8th round over Thomas Ulrich. You dirty boy, you. Why were you pounding the table like that, Bo? Good thing it was behind the.
I think you could hear it through the
behind the laptop. It definitely didn't sound like this. Yuri Barashian, he wins a European light heavyweight championship. Quality show, by the way. Barashian's 25-3 with 17 knockouts. Ulrich moving down to 31-4 with 21 knockouts. Barashian wins a European light heavyweight championship.
Yeah, his only losses were Glenn Johnson, Adamek, and
Air Day.
Yeah.
So, when he gets up against top opposition, he sort of crumbles. But he's sort of that Shambe Mitchell sort of. you gotta beat
Mitchell
me.
Gets more airtime on this show.
He is like the welterweight gatekeeper. You gotta beat him before people even talk to you in that division, unless you're Andre Berto, of course. Because everyone's talking about Andre Berto, probably because he's been on Bolo Bunch Boxing. Friday night, Fort Lauderdale, welterweight action. Richard Gutierrez wins a 10-round unanimous decision over Jose Valera, 99-91 and 98-92 twice. Gutierrez moving up to 24-1 with 14 knockouts. Valera 22-3 with 16 knockouts.
Yeah, Gutierrez won this fight pretty handily, but
another thing about Shambe Mitchell is no, go ahead.
He didn't look as good as he could have. He's fighting. He did show that he could fight a taller man and work his way in, but Valera he couldn't use that height to his advantage like you would think a tall fighter would. He kind of moved his way in and tried to fight on the inside a little bit too much. 2 years with it. He's that guy with the. If you haven't seen him before, he's got the cross in his chest with the hair. Cuban fighter wasn't the highlight of this card. Gamboa was the highlight of this card, and that was the next fight we're going to talk about, actually.
Junior lightweight Yurikois Yuriorkis Gamboa TKO victory in the 1st round over Johnny Edwards. Guys, there's very little to say about this fight other than where is he going to go from here. He's only 9-0, and this was yet another knockout. He's 9-0 with 8 knockouts.
Edwards is no simple walk in the park either. He's actually taken on a couple bigger names here. He actually had taken on the bigger names coming into this fight than Gamboa did.
Over 400 amateur fights Gamboa had.
Yeah, that's all Cuba because you can't go pro there. So he stays in Cuba and just fights those amateur fights against other Cuban fighters that are no slouches themselves. So he gets a lot of experience. The only thing I noticed about him is I don't know if he has the defense or not. He has the speed and he has the power, and he has actually the foot speed as well. I mean, speed of hand is one thing, but foot speed as well. That's just another attribute to add. And I don't know.
He moved around that ring.
He walked over this guy. You couldn't tell if he had the pop or if he had the defense because he didn't need it.
No. At no point did he show the requirement of defense against Johnny Edwards. And Edwards has been in with some good stuff. He won against Freddie Norwood, against Eric Aiken, against a couple other guys.
Yeah, Aiken was.
Gamboa was so phenomenal.
That was when Eric Aiken was pretty good too.
Yeah. I replayed this fight a couple times. The first time you're like, okay, I see who won. And
Well,
you write
they
it
actually
down.
made the highlights on SportsCenter. It made the top 10 plays of the day.
That was a
Number
pop
2.
and a half, man. That was beautiful, beautiful work.
He's a future champ. We'll
I'm
just have to
extremely
wait.
excited about. I'm just going to call him Yuri Gamboa because Yuri Orkis is harder to say than I'd like to admit. Even though I just said it fine right there.
Him and Andre Berto will be slapping hands at some point in the future, holding up belts together.
Yes, I'm sure. Bantamweight action: Jan Barthelemy won a 6-round unanimous decision over Antonio Cochero Diaz, 59-53, 3 times, and all 3 times it was unanimous. Barthelemy is 5-0 with no knockouts.
Yeah, he's just a boxer. He's a little bit different than Gamboa, and he's a slick boxer and moves around. And he just uses the ring and punches and doesn't go for the quick knockout. He's still obviously 5-0 and looked pretty good in this one as well. And I don't know, he fills out the card. He makes the card last a little bit longer. He's another Cuban fighter. I mean, all those guys can fight.
Yeah. In Mexico, Friday night in Ciudad Neza, Mexico, junior lightweight action. Oscar Larios won a 12-round unanimous decision over Arturo Gomez, 120-108, 115-113, and 114-113. Larios 60-6 with 1 draw, 37 wins by knockout.
Yeah, he ends up winning this one pretty handily, but Larios doesn't have as much in the tank as what he did before. He fought those 2 or 3 big fights that took a lot out of him. But still got a few left, not many left probably to go here before he retires.
No, I don't want to see him fight too many more times.
Well, he had that brain hemorrhage a couple years ago, and the only reason he actually could probably fight this fight is because it was in Mexico, and they don't have as strict rules there.
Yeah, well, they were talking about that. How if you can't get a fight here, go to Mexico. They'll sanction anyone, and that's unfortunate. Friday night, Cabazon, California. Middleweight action. Enrique Ornelas, TKO victory in the 7th round over Roberto Bravo. Ornelas 27-4 with 17 knockouts. Bravo 25-15-3 with 14 knockouts. Roberto Bravo from the Contender.
Yeah, he looked pretty good on the Contender, but since he got off the Contender, he hasn't looked very good.
He's been losing all over the place. He's 25-15 now.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been on the Contender if he was 25-15.
Well, his record still wasn't that great when he went on the Contender either. Just he performed really well there.
He fought well.
And since he got off the Contender, he just hasn't. Actually, his last fight in the Contender, he didn't look very well. Or didn't look very good either.
True. Is that all we got?
Yeah, that's it for this
Yeah,
week.
that's all it took. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back. I'll ask the trivia question again. And we'll talk about all the fights that are coming up this coming week. And on to a little bit of a topic. We're going over tonight. We might not have much time for a topic. This is your Bolo Bunch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. www.hssp.ccsportsjuice.com.